Hello, thank you for joining me for today's Facebook Live. My name is Tracy Helt. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia, and this is my regular Sunday Facebook Live. Now, I don't have a sample of the card that we're going to make today because I may have already used it, but it's the one that was in my blog post last week Friday, the Festive Friday one. And one of the girls in the Festive Friday group went absolutely nuts about the card, so I thought, okay, that'll be a good idea for me to share with you on my live. So let's go through the products that we're going to use. I'm using slightly different sentiments and of course different colors to what was in my blog post, but I'm using the Prairie Grass stamp set. This is one of the latest online exclusives, and it's one of those ones which has nice sentiments for people who are having a hard time. So sometimes life is just hard. So very sorry, my shoulder is yours. You're not alone. I'm here for you. Sending the healing power of love. And it's got these pretty stamps. And then I'm using the Charming Day dies. And oops, here you go. Clue to which one I'm using because it's still got the paper in it. I'm going to use this rose. So it's just the die that cuts out. Those ones cut out the images, but this is just the die. And we're using the Irresistible Design Specialty paper. Now, hopefully this is going to show up on camera. It will once I sponge a little bit, but it's white and it's got these designs in it. So that one's got leaves. This one has got flowers, and that one's just like a geometric design. So this paper is lovely. If you haven't noticed it, I think it is in the catalogue. Could be wrong, but it's there. Okay, so starting off with a piece of paper, we're just going to take our piece of DSP and do a little bit of sponging on it. And there you go. As I sponge, you'll actually see the design coming up. This is one of those weird weeks where, oh no, I didn't actually want that. I'll hide that. The inky bits somehow. We'll make a plan there. Alright, so I just want a bit of sponging. No specific size or design in the middle over there. And before I put my inky fingers and my sponging away, I've cut out some of the roses. Now, when I've cut it, I've got green ones, which look a bit weird, but don't worry, we're going to hide that, which is the whole one. And then I've just cut out the rose, and I've got 4 of them. So I just want to add a little bit of extra color, like to the center of the rose over there. I just want a bit of it a little bit darker. Now, if I pull one of these back in, you'll see that that's actually got the calyx and the green bits, which I've got when I've cut this out, obviously. So I'm just gonna go and cut those bits off. And sorry, but this is one of those days where you get to watch me do the same thing 4 times. And now we're going to stick the coloured rose over the green. Okay, so we're sticking it, and obviously it's the exact same die, so it should fit exactly. And I've got my green calyx poking out, and trying to do this really quickly, seeing that I can't speed it up because it's live and not a video. Oops, glue went a little bit over there. I'm maybe trying to work too quickly and was too enthusiastic, but that's okay. That was feeling like I'd sponged on the wrong side, but I haven't. So, alright, so there are our roses, ready to go. And now we can assemble the card. So starting off, I've got my Petunia Pop card base. And my other card was all done with yellow, so it's going to end up looking a little bit different, but pretty nonetheless. Okay, and then I'm going to use a black matte just because I want that little bit extra. And I have a plan for this card. I was speaking to one of my friends in the UK yesterday who's having a pretty hard time. She's having health issues and she had to have her dog put down a few months ago. So she was crying while she was talking to me and she was feeling really miserable. So I'm hoping that by the time this card gets to her, she's feeling a lot happier. But that's okay because she'll know that I was thinking about her, and that's why I chose the stamp set that I did for the sentiments. Now I just want to quickly deal with my insert, and I'm going to take this one because I knew that I'd cut that off a bit. So let's just see, we're going to stick a rose inside. And I thought that this card was really good because she was saying to me the one thing that makes her happy is her garden, and her garden's looking lovely, and she was showing me on the video her beautiful roses and things. So I thought, okay, I'll send her some roses too. Alright, so let's just trim off the edges there and stick that inside the card. And you'll see that this card is super easy once you've got all your bits and pieces done. The die cutting is probably what's going to take you the longest. It's really easy, but you'll see how pretty it looks once we've got it all done. Alright, now let's just decide how we're going to arrange our roses. Maybe one closer in the middle. I think I kind of like that. Alright, so let's just see if I can get them to stay together, because as soon as I lift it, I'm going to lose my nice arrangement, but we'll stick those bottom stems together there. And then I'll put that one here. Okay, so maybe we'll just put a tiny dab of glue behind those two petals so that it can stick on there. Stay. And then I'm going to flip my roses over and we're going to put dimensionals behind them. and some minis just to support some of these tinier pieces. Dimensionals are doing double duty here. They're holding the flowers together and they're also going to prop them up. That should be enough. Okay, I always say the more dimensionals you use, the more backings you need to push off, or pull off rather. Feels like my nails are getting too long here. You stay. Last one. There we go. Alright, so now we can just stick our bunch of roses onto the card. There we are. Now I have stamped the sentiment and I'm using that "sometimes life is just hard," and I'll write her a nice note inside saying just push through it and things will improve. So we'll cut that at an angle, and I have a strip of Petunia Pop that I'm going to use as a mat. Let's see if I can just straighten that slightly. And because I'm putting it over the roses, which are slightly propped up, I'm just going to put a dimensional at either end of my sentiment. And let's stick the sentiment the right way up. That's probably a good idea. Hide one of my smudges over there. And I've tied myself a ribbon. This is that Mossy Meadow and Gold ribbon. And where Mossy Meadow's not usually my favourite colour, should know by now that I'm really not into the greens, but sometimes it just works. And I have to say, with the gold, this ribbon is beautiful. And if I sounded distracted, it's because I was just looking for my glue dots. Let's just, I think that those have been exposed, so hopefully these ones are a little bit stickier. Or not. One of those days where things don't want to do what I want them to. There we go. And we're just going to stick the ribbon over there. And then I've got my tiny bead trinkets, but I've also got the butterflies, and we all know that I struggle with the brushed brass butterflies. So in my life they are BBBs, and I just think that because I have to hide the smudges, I'm going to use the butterflies because I can put a bigger one. I suppose I could have bees and butterflies, but I'm not going to. There we go. Wasn't sure whether that actually. Okay. There we go. That does a pretty good job of hiding my splotch. And then we can put another couple going around the card. Alright, so like I said, it's actually a really, really simple card, but it lands up looking really pretty. This designer series paper at the back just adds something to it. And then we've got our rose on the inside. I hope you like this card. I'm going to get it into the post, send it off to the UK, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a message from her in a couple of weeks' time saying that she's absolutely happy with the card. So have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Stay warm in Melbourne. I think that weather has warmed up a bit, but it's going to get cold again. See you next week. Bye for now.